Alright, listen up, you fracturing hectopascals. Today I'm talking about how I feel about the World Ends With You anime, so sit down and shut up because I got some digits to spit.
Dots. Guess who? Like a bolt from the blue, it's time for the Reaper review. Ready to shake? Then away we go.
So, The World Ends With You, the animation. I totally love the art. It translates from the game so well. I wasn't really a fan of the 3D animation though. But I've never been a fan of 3D animation. Although, the fight scenes with Neku fighting the noise actually looks pretty good. When the noise just kind of appears, that's what really looks bad. And also, Beat's appearance, or first appearance in the opening, looks terrible. But, the fight scenes, some of the fight scenes with Neku fighting the noise, I couldn't even tell that it was 3D animated sometimes. So that's really good. I also loved when Neku was fighting, the pin that he was using would flash across the screen, so it's kind of like a neat little Easter egg for the people that played the game. The second pin that he used was my favorite pin, so I was like, dude, I know that pin. So that's really cool. The music is obviously still Zeta sexy, but that's a given. And next on to some character stuff. Rhyme was adorable. I don't really listen to sub, but I think her voice was actually really fitting and great. That's not actually the voice I would have matched with her, but it worked really well. And sadly, that's about it. That's about all I have for good things on the anime. So we'll move on to Shiki. Well, Shiki, Beat, and Neku have been practically shafted here. Shiki is probably the next best character. She sounded fine. She's not as annoying, ditzy, or charming as she usually is, or is in the game, which is actually pretty important. Her staring at her phone was really annoying and drew you into her character, kind of. They ran over that completely, and they kind of skimmed past the impact of her and Eri stuff. They did it okay, I guess, but you didn't know the character well enough to have that grand impact of knowing this about her now, which is really important, and I'll talk more about it later. Oh, one thing I really did like was that Shiki and Eri weren't wearing the same clothes. They were in the game, and they shouldn't have been. Eri had just a normal school uniform on in the anime, which is really good. The voice actresses were also different, and that makes a lot of sense because they're not the same person. Even if your soul is transported into the UG, your voice shouldn't match Eri. Which I think was really cool. That's one more positive. On to Beat. Beat definitely wasn't over the top aggressive to Neku, which is something kind of dumb. It sounds small, but it's actually super important to build his character. Even in the second episode, he says, "Looks like we're all buddy-buddy now, huh?" And in that point in time, in the game, he still hates Neku. He won't call him by his name. He hates that they have to work together. He is completely against them, just even being in the same breathing space. And because they had to rush this anime for some reason, they just glossed all over that, and now he's just friends with them, which really isn't Beat at all. I don't know if it was due to a translation issue or just the subs not embellishing on how his words are played, but quirks and phrases of Beat were mostly all taken out. He says yo or calls Neku phones like once each, when he says that pretty much every line of dialogue he has in the game. Again, it's dumb, it's annoying, but it's Beat. and that was taken out, and that really just kills his character. Okay, on to the worst of the characters. One of my favorite characters out of like all characters. I'm pretty sure he's like top 5 video game characters for me. Neku Sakuraba. It's no exaggeration to say that he is not the same character at all that he is in the game. He has none of his sass. He is a douche at the beginning of the game. He, like, we played with Guy listening when we were voicing this, or not this, our game, and he was like, God, what a douche, and like, yeah, that's Neku. And they took that all out. In this game, or in this anime, he's just a scared kid that doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, he has your Cloud kind of sullen, emo kind of tones, but he has no other characteristics. Like, he's just there. He just wants to get through this game, and he's confused on what the game actually is. He just lost so much character in transitioning to an anime, and I will get back to why I think that is later. But some of his most iconic lines, like at the beginning of the game, he's like,
out of my face. You're blocking my view. Shut up. Stop talking. Just go the hell away. All the world needs is me. I got my values. So you can keep yours, all right? I don't get people. Never have, never will.
like, these lines are the first lines of dialogue you hear in the game, and there's not much lines of dialogue that are voiced in the game at all, so they stick with you, like, for a long time. And they made me fall in love with Neku within 5 seconds. You know that he is no character that you've seen in a game. Okay, maybe you've seen him in the game, but definitely not the protagonist. Like, it just sets him up so... It just shows you that he's such a different character that you're used to, and that is completely gone from this anime. And that's what hurts me so much. But again, more on that later. Lastly, to talk about on this anime is the pacing. There's 7 days in the Reaper's game, and they blaze through 3. That's right, 3 days in one episode. In the very first episode, they blaze through 3 days. And then 2 more days in the second episode. I mean, I can't get more into it without getting into some spoilers for the show. So, here's your warning. But if you have kept up with my playthrough of the game on this channel, you won't be spoiled here. But if you haven't, what the factor are you doing? Go watch it. We voice all the characters, good or terrible, you decide. But you'll get better character development and fall in love with characters like me and my friends have, so go do that. Anyways, spoilers. So, the rush development of all the characters and the fast pacing of the anime, it just hurts this anime so much. Because you're not gonna care when Rhyme gets erased in the next episode, because it's titled Erased, so I know what's going to happen. And at the pace that they're running, the first week is going to be finished in that same episode. And that freaking sucks, because you aren't going to care when Shiki is taken as Neku's entry fee, and you sure as hell won't feel the contrast on how Neku didn't give a decimal about anyone but himself, and now he has to fight for Shiki for his second week. Like, you can't rush that because you've lost all the impact. Now, if it were up to me, episode 1 would have gone through day 1 and then ended at the end of day 2 with Neku choking out Shiki, and it would just cut to black, leaving you in shock for a whole week wondering if Neku actually went through with it. That's such an impactful moment that had zero impact. In the show, they didn't even give you that impact. Mr. Hache stopped Neku before you even had a chance to be shocked at what was going on. And, like, honestly, that's one of my favorite moments in the game. And it's huge looking back on it after knowing how important Shiki becomes to Neku. I could talk so much more about this anime and what kind of ticks me off and little things and stuff, but I think you get the point. All in all, my review on the anime is underwhelming as a viewer and dismal if you're a fan of the game. Yes, it looks amazing, but that doesn't make up for what they did to these characters. Yes, the show isn't over, and I'll remain hopeful, but the building pins have already been put in place, and a shaky foundation isn't much you can build on. On the positive side, it looks amazing and is definitely no replacement for the game, so give it a go. Or you can totally watch me play through it. We should be done with the game before Neo The World Ends With You comes out, so get out of my face and watch it.